Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim, and welcome to Tim Talks, the show that's only partially a show, but really just it's an excuse for me to. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna start over. That's the one that's going at the end of the video. Oh yeah. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim, and welcome to Tim Talks, the show that's only partially a show, but really is just an excuse for me to talk to my very talented friends. And speaking of talented friends, I have more here with me today. Good friends of the show who have been here before, Dylon, Saramago, and of course, SeanPoole. Welcome, guys.
What's up?
How are you guys doing today? This evening?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
It's
pretty
evening?
good. How are you?
I don't have windows, so I can't tell it's evening.
It's
I live in a basement.
to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit. It's late on a Sunday, and I gathered at an emergency meeting of the brilliant minds of YouTube because there have been some major changes that have happened this last week. Well, that were told to us this last week.
Yeah.
And the brilliant minds weren't available, so you grabbed those.
Inside, yeah.
Well, you know. Anywho, I wanted to kind of talk to people who would be affected by this, myself included, and to kind of get your feelings on how this would affect you guys in the slightest. I know that Spool, for example, you are a little bit more skewed towards Twitch, but you
Yes, very much.
do
so.
you put your videos out on YouTube, I assume?
I haven't in the last 5 months. Apparently, I haven't posted on YouTube, and a lot of it goes. And I know we're going to talk about it later, but a lot of just that the multiple adpocalypses and stuff slowly just drove me more and more to like not even bother with YouTube
Right.
a lot. And this might be like the nail in the coffin, other than just a storage repository for my streams.
Now,
but
and then
we'll see.
Dylon, you've been a lot more active on YouTube in the past and current, I believe, but you do a lot of streaming as well and have been kind of affected in the same way, yeah?
Yeah, it was a weird thing where I again, same with Spool, like it's been like 4 or 5 months till I posted something, and then I'm like, I'm gonna work. You know what? This year is gonna be the year. I'm gonna start working hard and this and that. Set up the green screen that's been sitting in my closet for so long, and then made a video. And as I'm editing the video, literally that news comes out, and I'm just like, oh, I was already doing it. I hope nobody thinks I just got kicked in the ass and like I'm doing it now because of that. But it played a part for sure, and kind of not rushing it, but making sure it's good, and I know it should be out there at this point.
Yeah.
Making sure that your message is clear because Jesus Christ, YouTube is the worst about that.
Yeah.
And the video that I put up actually got my ads were not working properly, and I had to dispute it. And I didn't do anything. I just hit the buttons that says, "Can I please have money?" The whatever little amount I earn, and they're like, "Sure." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I guess."
It's almost like they just want to make sure a human is there to like dispute it versus like millions of bot channels. Or whatever.
That makes sense.
So, getting down to the nitty-gritty, speaking of the email that was sent out, if you'll allow me to kind of read what was sent to everyone, and I'm going to put a picture of it up on screen for everybody to read as well, but it says, today we're announcing changes to the YouTube Partner Program. While our goals remain to keep the YPP open to as many channels as possible, we recognize that we need more safeguards in order to protect creator revenue across the YouTube ecosystem. Now, that kind of breaks down to the fact that YouTube is having to make some changes recently due to what we'll say is some controversial videos that have gone up in the past. And not just the Logan Paul video that took place in Japan. There have been a lot of ones previous to that have raised huge amounts of controversy and court cases over fair use and copyright intentions and takedowns of channels and everything of that nature.
Yeah.
I for one enjoy Spider-Man and Elsa. I don't know about you guys. I'm just kidding. Please don't take that.
That's funny because Spider-Man also has come out more recent. But I remember finding like I tweeted about it like months ago about Elsa and Sub-Zero. There's like a whole Elsa Sub-Zero like.
I didn't know I wanted this.
They have kids and like all kind like there's so much weird fanfic, and I'm like that makes sense. But then I hear Elsa Spider-Man, I'm like that makes less sense. I miss.
I have to have Sub-Zero doing his friendship move from Mortal Kombat 2, which was actually making a snowman, and be like, "Do you want to make a snowman?" That.
I'm sure it's done.
It has to be. And then they probably have some sort of gory sex or something like that. Weird portions of YouTube aside. What are you going to do? And that's exactly what they're kind of combating with this stuff. They're trying to make it so that ads do not run on those kind of inappropriate videos. And so that people who give them money to make those ads don't then pull that money out when that inappropriate content becomes a huge news story.
Yeah.
Such as the CSGO lottery people. Team Martin and Pro Syndicate making a huge killing off of a literal gambling website, selling off weapons on CS:GO.
Yep.
I remember when that was just a big old to-do. And I want to say that they got a relatively small slap on the wrist for it. They're still...
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
There's-
Absolutely.
I don't know if they're I don't know if they're legally like in like a civil suit or anything like that, or what. I'm pretty sure they are, because they were doing like kind of like I don't know if that's insider trading, but they're basically breaking quite a few laws of not disclosing that they own the company, that the as well as doing gambling and all the other stuff.
Completely gaming the system in every way possible.
Yeah. And making videos that are like, oh, dude, I just scored like 5 huge hits off of 5 loot boxes in a row.
Isn't this crazy?
You should get in there. I just made like $1,000. Come on, you could do it.
What are
too.
the odds of that?
Oh, I don't know this.
When I own the website.
Doctors hate me.
Meanwhile, he accidentally records himself like using the cheating, like a cheating like system or whatever with it.
The debug menu.
Boy, oh boy,
Right.
oh boy.
I'm
I
in.
swear.
Yeah, because there was that one. There was also what else happened? Like PewDiePie, saying the N-word during the live stream, and that kind of take like a bunch of random. Lots of stuff.
Now that happened on Twitch. This kind of shows to go you how the two are very interconnected, because that incident technically did not happen on YouTube's platform, but because he is such a huge YouTube presence, that puts that level of scrutiny on everyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just the
Was
news
it
of
on
it put
Twitch
them
or was it
on
YouTube
blast.
Live Gaming? I'm actually not sure.
You know what? That's a good question.
I know he was live streaming during it, but I want to say he was doing YouTube Gaming.
It's what?
That would
or
make more
live
sense.
streaming.
But
That said, but all this started. It goes back to like when they, the first adpocalypse of last year. Was it last year? Like the end of the year before, where like they found like big companies like Coke or whatever. Their ads were on like ISIS recruitment videos and stuff like that. Like they probably didn't have a ton of views, but just the fact that they were on like these, obviously like kind of terrorist ran.
it was a bad
videos
look for
stuff.
sure.
Yeah, where suddenly like Coke is like, and a bunch of big companies, like Coke and I think Pepsi probably, like all these big brands, like
Just soft drinks. That's
They're
it. That's all they got.
Nike,
Johnson and Johnson.
Whoever. RC Cola, they were gonna get out of there.
Yeah,
all
of
that
course.
money.
Dr. Pepper lost his degree. It's crazy.
But they all basically like threatened, like, all right, well, we're just not gonna like post ads anymore on Google or on YouTube, and that's Google's business is advertising. Of anything else, Google's business is advertising. So having all these big giant advertisers be like, we're not gonna work with you anymore, which I feel like in reality, Google probably could have pushed back because the market is there on YouTube. Like
It's
that's
definitely
like,
in Google's favor. I mean.
But they sided more with the advertisers and gave the advertisers power that they'd been lacking on there, and the marketers and the advertisers like ate it up.
Which is funny because
now,
to me that just sounds lazy, because if you can't find advertisers that are going to advertise on all sorts of content, then maybe you should just limit them to just these kind of content and find advertisers who will advertise on more adult content because they exist. Put fucking
like
AdamandEve.com shit on my videos for all I care.
Or like Durex, or like there's a bunch of like whatever alcohol companies. There's people. I've put this forward like years before, I think even before the ad pockets happened, because they started doing that where like it was hard. They would say, I remember when I worked at Machinima, they'd be like, well, we can't find advertisers to do like partnerships or sell like slots in your shows and stuff. Because
like a more direct thing.
Yeah, like through our direct sales team at Machinima, they'd be like, we can't sell you guys when we were working at Inside Game and stuff because we're too edgy and too whatever. Right. And then we were like, we had to basically go out and find like companies to do it for us, and it was pretty easy, but we didn't have the time. But even then I was throwing out like there should be like a YouTube like gray market kind of space, like YouTube gray ads where like people, especially with this adpocalypse stuff, where like maybe your content, you're aware your content's mature. It's not for like everyone as YouTube would hope it would be. So I wish you could like drop into like a separate category where it's like companies that don't care so much, like I said, like Durex or like condom companies or AdamandEve.com, or like people who don't care, they just want to get in front of eyes.
Extreme restraints.
Smaller businesses that are willing to kick you, maybe lower clicks per minute revenue, but at least it's still some kind of ads on your video.
Yeah.
Exactly. And YouTube hasn't touched on that at all. And I wish that was a thing. So like, yeah, your video gets demonetized because you say like transsexual in it or something like that. But you could still get thrown into like this gray kind of
You
marketplace.
put up a
or
Super
something.
Mario video that's like jumping on 3 bullet bills, and you get demonetized because it has the word bullet in it. And it's like, come the fuck on, people.
Yeah. So I wish there was like, it's not the premium or the best kind of CPM that you could get, but it would be, it'd be something.
I feel like that would be
versus
understandable. And who knows, the amount of smaller businesses you could pick up like that could make up for the smaller amount of CPMs that you get.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever the acronym is. You know what I'm talking about. Clicks per cent.
Yeah.
And so I kind of got to the midway point of the email here. It's talking about the new eligibility requirements to be a monetized channel. And those new requirements are having at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours, not minutes, hours of watch time in the last year. Now, those aren't exactly outrageous requirements, but the thought process was, if you are losing a lot of the privileges and accesses to services and features that smaller YouTube channels had to get that first bump, how are you ever going to get that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours? Do either of you guys meet that requirement? Because I don't.
So for mine, my YouTube channel, which again I haven't uploaded to for about 5 months, I have 16,000 subscribers. I think I've hit. So I have definitely way over the subscriber amount, and a lot of that I probably got just from when I left Funhouse and stuff. So I didn't really, I wouldn't say I really earned them necessarily like on my own, like in my YouTube channel. But my monthly watch time is nowhere near 4,000 hours a month because I don't put out regular. Back when I did like 5 or 6 months ago, I'd put out like a bunch of videos of like my scare compilations or stuff like that, like generic just kind of Twitch highlights or Twitch
VODs
backlog stuff. But people don't watch the whole thing. They skip through them really quick just to see. So you don't really get a lot. I think I get like, I think for last month it was like 2,000 minutes watched or something like that, or
just residually from
from watching like old videos and things.
And you, Dylon?
For myself,
I'm at around like 6,000 subscribers, and kind of the same vein. Like when I left, or when we stopped doing the Internet Box podcast, the thing that everybody cares about, that's when I had the bulk of my subscribers. And like I remember back a year or two ago, they started getting rid of a lot of like inactive accounts, and I was like, oh man, my subscribers took a dip because of that. And then it kind of went to show like was I really gaining my own subscribers like based on my content, or was it just left over from the past? And like because I'm at that lower number, like I'm only at 6,000. If someone goes to that channel, they might not think, oh yeah, I'll subscribe, I want to see what they do next. A lot of people now, I guess, kind of have that mentality of, I want to support this person because I know how hard it is and I enjoy lots of different kind of content, so I'm going to give it a shot, subscribe, see what they do next. But a lot of people will also, especially younger people, will see that number and go, they're nothing, I'm just going to move on to the next thing, which makes it tough.
And then the rich keep getting richer when they find a channel that's got 500,000 subscribers, and they're like, oh, that must be pretty good. Click.
It must be good. Look at all the people watching.
Exactly.
And there's 60 million
I like
subscribers.
it too.
He's got to be good.
And so, do you guys think that this might lead to the return of the sub for sub model, or watch bots, or sub bots?
I don't know. I feel like YouTube. I think YouTube right now in the last year is basically trying to legitimize. They're striving really hard to be like legitimate. Like I feel like they want to be taken almost as like a TV network or a TV like they want to be treated the same as cable is their ideal. Having worked in that industry and a lot of higher ups, their dream is to be taken as serious as like HBO, or like be taken like to be NBC or CBS or ABC is like the ultimate dream, to be that respected, because they want to be able to brag to their buddies and like make that much money and stuff. So I think YouTube or Google is would love to be taken that serious as well. They've been doing their YouTube TV stuff for like with YouTube Red and stuff for a couple of years now, and that hasn't really taken off. Like the YouTube, I know shows and stuff do okay, but I think it's more the personalities that are attached to them, way more than like the production value or anything else that are dumped into it.
And there have been a couple in the last year that have come out on the YouTube Red like exclusives program. The Do You Want to See a Dead Body with Rob Hubel? And then there was one with Ryan Henson, the guy from Veronica Mars, where he like plays a stupid cop on a fake TV show doing real crimes or whatever. And that, I mean, those shows would not be as good if it weren't for the people that were leading them being personalities, people that were known to other people. And even though YouTube is trying to be this legitimate like YouTube or like HBO and everything, HBO can show boobies. YouTube can't.
Yeah.
That is true.
Well, they could make up their own rules, but again, it comes down to how much they want to bend to advertisers. Because no advertisers are going to want to sell, anything to a company. And that's why HBO doesn't have ads.
Right.
And they charge a premium subscription is so they can show you boobs and sex and stuff, and they don't owe any money. No one's going to say, no, you're not going to get paid.
And then on the
People
other
are
side
paying
of that
to
coin,
see boobs.
there's YouTube Red, a literal paid subscription service that they could put all of that stuff behind and say, I want to register my content as only YouTube Red stuff, which means my content will be monetized no matter what, but people have to be a certain age limit, or whatever it is, to kind of make sure that people who are advertising on my videos are comfortable knowing my content is going to be what it is.
Damn, YouTube's getting closer to YouPorn every single day. Premium subscription for boobies? Come on.
Right? If they really want to make money, that's all they got to do.
Yeah.
Easy.
YouTube, I bet YouPorn makes a lot of money as well. Like probably not as much as YouTube, just because YouTube ads, but
I mean,
do they have Let's Plays on YouPorn?
They absolutely do, and on Pornhub as well.
I'm very happy about that.
I had an idea for a channel for a long time that I really wanted to do. Like, have you guys ever seen Hysterical Literature?
I don't think so. I've seen Drunk History.
It's
almost the same.
A very pretty lady sitting in a chair reading a book, and it's usually some sort of old literature, Dostoevsky or something like that. And there's a vibrator in the chair. And she's just getting as far as she can.
Random.
And I wanted to do that, but with video game challenges. So, like, play the NES remix and get through 3 stages of that, and shit like that. Because that is hilarious content that would sell super well and would definitely end up on YouPorn. But Tim,
when you want to do a pilot of that, just send me a message. Like,
are you gonna be my test subject, Dylon? Is that what you're saying?
I'll give you my schedule and we'll work from there.
Fair enough. I'll have to put you in a very skimpy little bikini. Are you okay with that?
Whatever sells.
Fair enough,
right? Just up my commission.
And so those changes that we were talking about here in a little bit didn't just go into effect immediately. They did give you a grace period of 1 month. It won't go into effect until February 20th. At that point, any existing YouTube Partner Program member who doesn't meet those the subscriber and watch time requirements, you're gone from the program. As well as being kicked off an MCN if you're a part of that. Now,
which I didn't realize at first, because people, it was all up in the air. I know, where like people were like, "Does that mean do I get can I join the MCN and still get it or whatever?"
It does not. Not anymore. As to be an MCN partner, period, you have to be a part of the YouTube Partner Program, and so in order to be, it ends up being this vicious circle of you have to meet the requirements first. And how do you meet the requirements? Well, fuck me, right? But in the good news, there is a little bit of a silver lining here. If you have any sort of money in your revenue, it will get paid out to you. No matter how much it is, if it doesn't meet the threshold or whatever, you're still going to get paid out of it so that they can close your AdSense account.
Yeah.
Sad as it is.
After fucking how hard it was to actually get one of those set up.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. Like I checked the other day after I got the email from them. I was like, how long have I had my AdSense account? How long have I been partnered? And apparently I've been partnered since like April of 2011 or something like that. And that was probably more of a fluke than anything, because I'd posted when I was I think I was back in college, was it? Yeah, when I was back in college, I was recording outside during like a blizzard or something like that, and a transformer blew up. Like a transformer blew up, and you see all the lights go out, and the transformer blew up out there. I was like, I'm going to post it to YouTube. And it got like, I think Transformers came out like the same year, like one of the Transformers movies. So my title was like Transformer blows up during Blizzard or something like that. And it got like 80,000 views just randomly. And like slowly. It wasn't like 80,000 views overnight,
Right.
but
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like fairly steady. Of like, well, why is this doing things? And people are like, oh, I thought this was like a transformer blowing up. But anyway, so that did well enough that they like. I was able to partner with them over that, and I wasn't really. I was adding stuff, but not like super regularly or not let's play videos or anything. I was working by then, I think, by like to G4 and stuff. But yeah, so I got partnered. So all the way back in 2011, I've been partnered for what, like 7 years,
Yeah.
and it feels weird that like that they would
Yank that
take
away.
that away when you're doing nothing, you're not doing anything wrong, you're not necessarily like staying active. Like I can understand if like you've been inactive, so which is essentially what
Like
this is.
you haven't signed in or something like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
It's kind of the next level.
It absolutely is. And a lot of it is, in fact, trying to, according to YouTube anyway, keep out a lot of the low effort channels that have been getting made, and a lot of the instant pop-up viral video channels that end up having to pay out thousands of dollars on one viral video to a channel that doesn't really exist.
Yep.
Because it was just uploaded simply for that one video that went viral.
Yeah, and so that I guess that's what they're. I don't know if this is the direction you want to go, but that's what they're claiming. A lot of this is to counter. It doesn't have to do with like Logan Paul or like supposedly it has anything to do with advertisers or anything like that. Really, it's more of they want to shut down those spam channels that like one guy or like a group of people will basically create like 1,000 like little channels. And each of them will get monetized, but basically they just spam them with like they steal other people's videos, people who aren't partners or people that like they steal other people's videos and just like put them out there, basically just like generating like dollars a month or whatever. But they have enough channels, like 1,000 channels or whatever out there, all making like a couple bucks a month from these things.
That it just
They're basically ripping off people's things, and the channels get shut down by YouTube, maybe one at a time or reported, but they just basically spam the space, and they're basically using algorithms or whatever to make titles and clickbait, whatever things. So like it's a totally like computer ran.
It's really
kind of
hard
thing.
to play whack-a-mole on a football field.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's what this is supposedly, one of the big things this is supposed to help counter is, by putting in like they have to get a certain amount of watch time, a certain amount of subscribers, because a lot of those channels maybe don't get a lot of subscribers. But for the longest time, ad revenue has been based off, as you guys probably know, is like based off of watch time. Like watch time is like the biggest indicator of like how much money you'll make, from videos, because then they can run more ads and stuff on it. So those things, those channels are supposedly one of the bigger reasons of why they're going this route. And like, I just feel it's weird that they're
prioritizing,
cleansing out people that. Right? Yeah, they're. I feel like they're just taking such a big wide swath that they're just like. They're taking out tons of innocent people with basically like a couple bad apples are ruining it for like the whole batch,
And that already comes hot off the heels of a bunch of other algorithm changes that have already kind of screwed over smaller channels anyway. If your channel is not monetized, guess what? Algorithm's not going to pick you up. Which means your videos aren't going to show up in search results. Which means your videos aren't going to show up in recommended search results or, like videos in the side column there. And it also means that you're going to end up drowning more and more in obscurity, and you're never going to be able to reach that fucking threshold. And so
It leaves you in such a weird position too, where you feel like remember when you started using Twitter and you realize like it's people like making stupid jokes, following famous people, or self-promoting. Like, am I going to self-promote every single day constantly just to hit like this limit?
Yeah.
I don't want to be that asshole. Like that's just something I've always been against.
Just trying to carve out your little niche on the internet. But at the end of the day, yeah, you kind of have to advertise like a shameless whore because nobody else is going to fucking do it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, until you make you kind of get through like a break past a certain threshold, like a breaking point where you have enough of like a devoted kind of fan base, like almost like a cult following that are really awesome. Like I'm fortunate that I have like a pretty coarse, like I have a pretty small like viewer base even on Twitch and stuff, but they're just super dedicated and they're there every day. And like they've built like an awesome community and stuff, and they will spread the word and retweet and do stuff. And that's an awesome feeling. And like, it really helps a lot because I'm not really the kind of person to really promote a lot, like self-promote a lot. I can't really stand too much. There's some people that are just so shameless, and I'm like, how can you do? I wish I was there.
It hurts me, but
happy
good
I'm not.
job.
You still have your dignity.
Yeah, exactly. It's like dignity for money, or like you sell some dignity for money or something.
Yeah,
but
there
like,
is a trade that has to
like,
happen there.
And it's like what they're doing isn't wrong or anything. It's just I'm not that kind of person that can do it.
You have,
But yeah,
there is this self-belief that you have to have that your message is important enough that you're going to get it out there. And I feel like that's part and parcel of starting YouTube to begin with. And I understand where YouTube's coming from, where it's like, if you can't meet these arbitrary new requirements, then maybe YouTube is just a hobby for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and my big argument that I, put out there, and when I first tweeted out this, like my tweet kind of blew up a little bit, where I said like, oh, I guess you can't call me a YouTuber anymore, because I posted like a picture of the email and stuff, and which I don't. Again, I haven't uploaded there for 5 months, so I don't make a living off of YouTube at all. And if anything, I make my living off of Twitch and like whatever side stuff I do. So I've never used my YouTube. It's like always been just like kind of like side, whatever, a little side money that I, anything little thing can count, like helps.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was more worried about, like, I've met through Machinima and like Funhouse, and over the years have just met tons of smaller, streamers and stuff that they make like pennies a month, or like a couple dollars a month maybe. But what I basically argued, because a lot of people were like, well, if you're only making pennies a month, why does it matter anyways if they're going to take that from you? Because I said, like, pennies add up. Yeah. Like getting pennies a month, you can increase. Like, say if you get 1 penny, like for like your first month, the next month you get 2 pennies, the next month you get like 4 pennies. Like eventually, like, you do better and better and you get more and more. If you're getting nothing, like nothing just builds, that just keeps equaling 0 every month. Right. Your motivation to improve and like add to your content is like so much lower. It's not that you can't.
And your ability to track your own metrics.
Exactly. Oh yeah, did they say if you're gonna have access to analytics and stuff still?
I
didn't see that in the notes.
I didn't see that either. I assume so.
But technically, analytics I think are part of the partner program, like getting like depth analytics, which are really
I never really thought about,
which are incredibly vital to figuring out videos of yours that did well, things that connected with other people, where your traffic comes from, which help you know how to promote yourself without being shameless about it. Did most of my traffic come from Twitter? Then maybe I should just stick to posting a couple of Twitter messages here and there. Did it come from external websites? Well, somebody's sharing my shit around everywhere. I should find that person.
I would hope that people still get access to that, because I don't think that really costs them anything other than like a little bit of data, database storage of that. And I can't see it really being used for malicious purposes as much as like, end slates, which apparently new partner, or like until you get partnered, new people won't have access to like external links, right?
Correct. New people
can't link out
in
to
will
like
not be able to do that.
They can't link to their Patreon or their merch store or youporn.com account or anything like. Even though I don't think you can do that anyways, because they blacklist.
I'm about to say there's only a couple that you can do that with, unfortunately.
They blacklist unless you get really, really, like premier preference.
Yeah, and I want to say that according to everything that my research has found, end cards, the ability to live stream, scheduling your uploads, custom thumbnails, which is a huge bone of contention for a lot of people. For real.
Yes.
And custom URLs up to a certain extent will all still be available to people who have them right now and don't meet the threshold by February 20th. Now, if you are a new person coming in trying to do YouTube, you won't have access to those as far as everything that I can see.
Yeah.
That may change. That may be inaccurate right now. But as far as all my research shows, if you're a brand new channel coming in at this point, you really might as well not.
Yeah, you're
like,
boned.
How do you build a brand without like having some kind of like consistency? Like, I know I can make all my thumbnails look kind of similar, give it my own flair. Like, and if I link my channel and it's XY blah 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 blah, and not like the name that I picked, like
you're gonna have to do it old school style, where you figure out where YouTube is picking up thumbnails from in the video and put the title card there. Like,
yeah, and it's because that's the biggest thing they focus. Like I've been YouTube certified before and stuff, and they hammered that into of like you gotta make like, this is how you should make a thumbnail. They give you examples. This is how you should do a title. This is how you should tag your things and stuff. And now you can't even, like a new creator wouldn't even have access to half the tools that they say require to be successful. Unless you do something really. Yeah, it's like just for basic stuff. It's really unfortunate. That was the thing when they said, because in the email it said like you will lose access to all monetization tools and features associated with the YouTube partner program. So when that came out, that pissed me off for everyone else. Like, again, my horse isn't really in this race because I've kind of moved on to Twitch already. But I feel for everyone else, and that I felt like that over the monetization stuff. Like the monetization sucks because that gives you motivation to keep making. You're like, I got a paycheck from Google. Yeah, I'm making a little bit of money. But the moment when they're like, we're gonna take away like the tools, like those access to things and stuff, people were freaking out. Thankfully, since then, like you found out, they're not gonna take it away from people that have it already. But like, say if I wanted to make a new channel or something like that, then I'm gonna have to, that's gonna have none of those tools and stuff in theory, of just that kills off a lot of people's. They're gonna have to just keep to one channel if they already have a channel. You can't make like a long form channel and a short like. And that's another thing is they always taught you. And sorry, I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, or like I'm ranting. I'm like Matt. I'm like getting.
I feel like it's coming out of me too. Like I feel it.
But a lot of people and a lot of this comes back from when I worked at Funhouse or Inside Gaming, is you get locked into a certain type of content because that's what people expect and that's what they want.
Right.
The moment you start like dumping tons of hour-long gameplay videos on your normally 10-minute gameplay channel, it actually ended up, we found out because we tried that where we would upload the like full live streams basically along with our cut down videos. We found that we got less like ad revenue, or it basically hurt our content overall of mixing in these long ones with our short ones, because people would watch like part of the hour one and then stop watching it, and then they wouldn't watch the cut down version. It just basically overall it just kind of balanced out to where it wasn't.
You ended up
hurt our channel.
Cannibalizing your own content that way.
Exactly. And so one of the options we had at the time was like we could have made like a second channel and upload all the long ones on there and just make that's like a separate entity. It doesn't hurt your main
Longhouse
channel
and be good.
Yeah, right. And that would be a separate channel that would kind of protect your original channel, but the people that are diehard really want to watch that stuff have somewhere to watch instead versus nowhere at all. You're making a little bit of money versus like. But anyways, at the end of this new system, you wouldn't, if you made that new one, obviously if you're a company like, Rooster Teeth or something, you're going to get partnered immediately and you're not going to have to worry about it. But like, say if you're some, Joe Schmo with like 30,000 subs and you're making decent content and you're partnered on your main channel, but you want to make like a side, like say you're a big time gamer, but you also love crocheting and you want to make like a crochet channel or something, you're going to have to start from the very bottom and not have any of those tools and stuff. It's
because you don't have
without
anybody to email.
Shameless promotion constantly.
Yeah, because you don't have anybody to email over at YouTube and say, "Can you please push me forward real quick?" Because I feel like even a new channel over, say Funhouse made a new channel like that, and they were able to kind of get a whole bunch of subscribers real quick and meet the requirement. Guess what? They still got to meet the watch time requirement.
Yeah,
and that takes uploading content to a channel that is half baked.
But obviously they have contact.
Yeah, or half crocheted. Perfect.
Lawrence's crochet channel.
The crochet corner. I feel like that's a market. I think it is.
For sure.
I might be making a second channel, you guys.
Not now, or do it now before February 20th.
And so there were a couple of pros that I found, a couple of reasons for these kind of changes. There were far fewer, but I did find a couple. And it is that there will be less competition for ad space when it comes to selling these limited amount of ads, because there are only a finite amount of ads that can go on videos to channels. So there will be more of these premium ads that are available because there are less channels getting ads. That is not a bad thing if you are still a part of the YPP. And if you can get back onto that YouTube partnership program, if you are losing it right now. It seems like
the grind.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it's the grind. You got to try to put yourself back on.
It seems like there'll be more human observation when it comes to content strikes and content IDs, inappropriate and flagged content, and anyone that is to be removed from the YPP. It won't just be an automated type process, so that's kind of nice. They said something like, I think I saw 100,000 human beings that will actually be surveying these videos now instead of the probably half that or less that they have now.
I'm so skeptical because they always claim that the trending page is like handpicked.
Oh like yeah,
they always claim like that YouTube trending is like they're curated like by humans, but it's so obviously like bot, like it's a bot that another algorithm of theirs. Absolutely. They automate as much as they can because they can.
Didn't the Logan Paul video end up on trending? So
it was there for 2 days.
I really hope that it's not fucking handpicked.
That's the thing, is that kind of backs in the corner because people were like, it's the same. It's annoying because YouTube.
I love seeing pissed Poole. This is
Just-
great.
Just YouTube. I think it all boils down to is YouTube's communication is terrible to everyone on the platform, to everyone outside. They are terrible at communicating anything to anyone throughout the adpocalypse stuff to everything. Like
Yeah.
with all the demonetization stuff before this even happened, like small YouTubers were like crushed by like demonetizing videos, random demonetizing videos, because to this day we still don't know. And this is the main reason of why I stopped bothering with YouTube, is because you don't know what tags or what words or what things like exactly are
Will
getting you
ruin your
demonetized.
video. Yeah.
Like just
absolutely.
tell me what words they are, and I will, do my best to stay away from them and not, use them. But I think they're afraid, people gaming it and just not using those words and coming up with ways around it. Like they can't really win either way. But
Well, I mean, I like to think about it kind of like a whole casino type system, because YouTube kind of is that casino mentality. They don't have any windows in or out to let you see what's going on. They kind of take away all indications of how things function. But at least gambling has to tell you the odds of what the fuck is going to come out. And yes, that does mean some people are going to be smart enough to figure it out, but casinos have fucking security for that.
yeah,
Like they literally are monitoring 24/7 in a recorded type scenario. They have ways of making that not a problem. And YouTube needs to figure out how to make that not a problem for them.
and it's just they're so big, it's like almost
Just the
astronomically
volume.
impossible to
Yeah, it would
to
be
humanly
running all the casinos in the world at the same time and then some.
Yeah. unless they hire like the entire country of China, like 1.5 billion people to watch and monitor every video. It's impossible, because I forget how many days worth or years worth of video get uploaded every minute or something.
Yeah.
I
But
want to say it was
it's
days a minute, something like that.
yeah, it's
several days a
it's
minute.
ridiculous. But it's as a user, or whether you're a viewer or a creator, the lack of communication is just so ultimately frustrating, because you're like, I try so hard, and like I'll put I've seen like people tweet out, or like people that actually are still on YouTube and like that is their day job, like put out things, and they're getting so frustrated because they'll upload a video that they think is like the most pure thing in the world. Like there's no way this is going to get hit with demonetization. Boom, it gets flagged. And like Dylon was saying before, is like you can like
Try and
have
dispute
them
that.
go check it, like can request a manual review, but you lose out on the ad money like from all the time before, until it gets reviewed and stuff.
And you won't even get reviewed until you've gained 1,000 views in one day.
yeah,
Like if you are a smaller channel, you're not going to get that.
no,
It's impossible. You're probably going to get 1,000 views across the video in its lifetime.
Mhm.
And it's unfortunate. I wish you had more views. Hypothetical person who's only getting 1,000 views on his video across his lifetime. But it's those kind of videos that end up growing your channel into something bigger. And you have to have that motivation, or else you quit. Or else it is just your hobby. Or else it is just you're running on raw passion and literally burning that candle on both ends. And we all know what happens when you do that.
yeah. Yeah, and I know a lot of people would argue like, well, then maybe it's just not for you. Like, it's not meant for you, or things like that. And it's like, that's fair, but at the same time, like, you should give everyone a fair shot at it.
Yeah.
Not like, and then this new way it's kind of going is like, it's definitely preferring people that have, it's almost like seniority, like people that were in there before, that have already hit those numbers, are already partnered, are going to have much more of a leg up for new people. And it's not that no one's going to be able to like start a new channel now and get,
and like
get to
eventually
where
cross that finish
hero.
line, but it's going to be really hard unless you know somebody who's already there. Unless you're able to get promoted by a channel that is already part of the YPP, or is a bigger channel than you are. Maybe kind of able to help give you a push or something like that. But I feel like that, to me, YouTube is almost pushing content creators to become. Have you seen the videos of rafts of ants, like ants clinging to themselves to become a raft in a flood?
I've seen it before, yeah.
And I feel like that's what content creators are going to have to become in this scenario. We're going to have to support each other. We're going to have to work together. And we didn't have to do that for a long time because ad revenue was decent. We were kind of able to carve our own niche. You didn't have to necessarily cross-promote and do things with other content creators that you wouldn't necessarily have to cross audiences with. Now you do.
Yeah. and I see older YouTubers from the older generation. Like back in my day, I had to try hard, I had to work at it and get all these things. This is good for all you younger people. And I mean, I feel like that's a very elitist way of looking at it.
1000%.
It's like your grandpa being like, "Well, I had to walk uphill both ways to school back in my day, and look how strong I am now." As he's like diabetes.
But Grandpa, I have a car. I can just do that.
Yeah,
instead,
it's
right?
gatekeeping 101. You're not a real YouTuber unless you've walked in my shoes. And it's like, well, not everybody fits in your shoes, Bubbo.
No, and that's what was great about it is like everybody was on an equal platform and had a chance. To where now it's like. It's basically like if you go to join a sport and they try and crush you in the first couple of days to see if you'll push through. It's like exactly what this is now.
Yeah.
Now,
if you have the perseverance basically to push through.
A few statistics here to kind of give us some numbers to work with. According to, there was a video that was put out by the YouTube Inside where they talked a little bit about Q&A based on some of the queries that they had gotten about some of the YouTube changes. They mentioned that 99% of the channels that were being removed from the YPP made less than $100 a year, and that 90% of those channels made less than $2.50 a month. And I understand wanting to get rid of those smaller nickel and dime amounts from your coffers, because then you're not having to pay out to people and also host their content, which isn't getting a whole lot of views anyway, and then you're double
adds
paying.
up for sure.
It does definitely add up, but that goes back to exactly what we were kind of talking about, where you might not be making $100 a year or $250 a month, but you're still making enough to buy yourself a new camera once a year, to buy a new microphone after 6 months.
Yeah, and exactly. That's how I feel. Is like I can understand from a business side of things where they don't want to host it, but they're going to be hosting all that footage no matter what anyways. They just won't be paying out. So they're actually, I guess, before it was almost like double dipping in a negative way for them, where they were hosting your content, which cost them money, and then they were paying you to host basically
Content
like,
that wasn't
content.
really doing great either. Yeah.
The opposite of renting.
Yeah, exactly so. And
so I can understand from the Oh, sorry.
No.
Go ahead.
Please go around.
I was saying, so I can understand from the business side of that, but like just the morale side of things, and like, trying to foster new, because I think their tactics for the last 5 years or whatever is they've been trying to foster and get as many people on there and like try and lift everyone up. But now they've hit this point of like, okay, well now we have too many people at the top. They kind of, I think things with like Logan Paul and PewDiePie kind of like melting down, and like lots of just all these like people at the top that have been around for years that are kind of melting down or having issues, has shown them that, okay, we need to focus on the quality of our content, not the quantity anymore. Where for so long now they've been focusing on quantity and just trying to like gather up as many high profile stars as they can. Now they're like, we have plenty of talent. We just need to like make sure they don't, fuck up. It's basically what it is now.
Basically. I can't say that I disagree. And a lot of these changes people are arguing is kind of going to dissuade that original slow organic growth that a channel kind of needs in order to get to that first threshold, that first 1,000 subscribers, or whatever your arbitrary threshold used to be, but now there actually is a literal one.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I disagree.
Yeah, I can understand it from a business standpoint, and I can understand it from like a higher level content creator and like protecting. And this is the other thing that gets thrown out a lot, is protect all the creators that are there that actually make a living off of it. We need to like kind of cull the people that can give us a bad name basically and all that stuff. I can understand all that side of things. I just feel like from a small creator point of view especially, it's going to kill off a lot of little small genres that they didn't even, think of, whether that's, animation people who takes weeks or months to create like a video. They're not going to be able to hit a lot of these, the watch time or stuff like that necessarily.
And
which is kind of the same mentality of like when the like the revenue was more based on watch time instead of just clicks and views and all that. Not everybody, but a lot of people, and you saw a big upswing of like Let's Plays because it was stuff that didn't take long to produce. It was long content because you could record for 4 hours and put out like an hour a day or something and then record again. Like it was a little bit easier to do, and it was really quantity over quality. And that's kind of the same thing in I don't want to go too much into it myself, but like the Logan Paul thing in his apology, quote unquote letter
Mm-hmm.
where he said I make a TV show a day. I'm like a TV show? Like he thinks of himself very highly, obviously.
Yeah, for
but
real.
aside
Because
from that, like he is doing something every single day, and it
Oh,
is
yeah.
quality over quantity quantity over quality that brought him to the point he's kind of at, and just kind of saying, I'm living this life. Look at me. I'm making a
Yeah.
video every day. Build, and here we are.
I'm so happy I'm not a vlogger because,
Oh,
or
me
like
too.
a daily vlogger or stuff like that, or whatever you want to call them. Like people who have to put out content every day of that type, where they basically have to live an extreme life, you know, every day and like one up themselves or one up their friends and stuff. I can't imagine the pressure. Like I'm not excusing what he did, but I can't imagine the pressure of like constantly, you know, having to stay relevant and like do things that are interesting, like where eventually you're gonna hit that point where you record a dead body and not think it's bad enough to not put on the internet.
And
like you're gonna hit this point where you're just kind of mentally
I feel
checked
like
out.
that's one of the pratfalls of celebrity anyway, is that kind of disconnectedness to not know when your content is going to be offensive anymore.
Especially as someone that's pretty young too. Think about
Yeah,
that.
he's 23, I think.
Absolutely. It's some person who doesn't have the world knowledge to know what is disrespectful and what is not. You know, and you can't tell me that he didn't have any sort of forethought in there, because I know how much time it takes to make a fucking YouTube video. He looked at that video 10, 20, 30 times before he hit that upload video, before he hit that public video button.
And his friends are there too. His friends that are in the video and the people that probably help work on the video or produce it, or if he has an editor, he probably has an editor. Just
Most likely, is what I'm thinking.
So you can't tell me that he didn't
regardless,
have
you have multiple.
any sort of responsibility for what was put out there. But that level of disconnectivity is kind of expected is the wrong word, unsurprising, I think.
Yeah, and it's like having, you know, been around quite a few of them, like even like years ago, of like when it was more like solo, a lot of like solo, you know, stars and stuff. They do get very disconnected from reality because their fans, like, you know, you have diehard fans that praise you like day in and day out. You have people, you have haters, man. You got to dab on them.
Yeah.
So you got haters, but the majority of people that watch your videos and comment are, you know, are going to be like, they're going to cheer you on no matter what. Even if Logan Paul had recorded himself murdering somebody and posted it on there, they would still be like, well, I'm sure he did it for a great reason. Like, I'm sure that person was just, you know,
they were a bad person. I knew.
Right?
I know them.
You get to this weird headspace of where like you can do no wrong.
Can I chill you to the core?
Sure.
Our president said something eerily similar not a year ago.
Oh yeah. He's absolutely, you know,
my god,
like a very great example of that whole mindset and that whole like thing. That's a whole other path.
Yeah. But that is very prevalent these days. That is a very millennial attitude to me. And that may be just old man Tim coming out and, you know, hey, everybody's got to like each other and try and get along and not show dead bodies on YouTube. But, you know, I feel like that's kind of common decency, which I didn't realize not so common anymore.
Yeah, parents do better.
Yeah, God.
It's all the parents' fault.
Spool, you mentioned that there was, in fact, one very specific subgroup of victims in that animation channels, which were a huge part of YouTube. People love making animations of Let's Play videos and original animations and
company.
Abso-freaking-lute.
And parodies and this and that, like,
and all of
Rooster Teeth started, you know, as a, you know, basically as an animate, like, you know, machinima over, you know, Red versus Blue
10-minute long videos. Like, Red versus Blue would not have survived on YouTube as it is right now.
Yeah.
And that is kind of soul crushing. You wonder, with all of these legacy people that are talking about how hard they had it, you wonder how long it would have taken them to do it. Now, that being said, their content was really great, and I imagine that they would probably be able to get there eventually, and I'm not talking bad about anybody in any sort of way. But it would not have been as easy as it actually was. And there's another sub-series of channels that is getting affected by that, tutorial videos. People who put out tutorial-type content do not get subs. They get watch time out the wazoo because people always need their tutorial videos. But you're never going to subscribe to that tutorial channel where you only needed that one video about how to work Trapcode Particular. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's very specific. And so people tune in, like, all right, I need to know how to, like, change the oil in my car. So they look up, like, change the oil in the car. I find the video. the video might have 1 million views because there's been like, you know, 1 million people before you that have done the same thing, but very few people probably sub to them. I feel like people might sub to tutorial videos, you know, if they're really highly produced or like really like the person's really likable,
Right. Yep.
maybe. But generally, even if it's good information, most people aren't going to sub unless it's something that they really want to. You know, like a tech, you know, channel where it's like tech stuff. You know, like Marquez Brownlee or like Linus Tech Tips or stuff like that. That's more of where people would sub. But yeah, you're absolutely right. If it's like how to change a light bulb, like no one's gonna sub to someone that puts out how to change like different kind of light bulb videos.
Absolutely.
Or from a creator standpoint too, like how many times have we looked up like how to do this thing in Premiere that we didn't know how to do, and then it's like, well, I got what I needed.
It's some dude screen capping his video with Bandicam. And it's got 500,000 views.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're not going to subscribe to that guy. You're going to watch what he said when he talks like this and fucking get the hell out.
Yeah, because you need one specific thing. That's like I follow one YouTube channel, I think, that shows like me After Effects, like stuff like that, just because they're tricky, and he's really good. So I'm sub to him. But there's been tons of other ones where I want to do something specific, and I look it up, and it's just some random person like, all right, I got it, and then like.
And in order to make those tutorial videos any halfway decent to where somebody would sub to your channel, it takes a long fucking time.
Yeah.
It really does. The last video that I put out that was very produced, we'll say, the last real YouTube video I put out took me 4 days. And that's, you know, yes, with my regular day job. If I didn't have the day job, probably would have taken me only 2. But still, that's 2 whole days that I went towards the video that ultimately got 80 views.
Yeah.
And I'm not a prideful man. I don't need a whole lot as far as validation. But that
I
does
don't ask
hurt.
for much.
That does hurt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because I worked really hard on that thing, and I'm really proud of it. And it's a fan-fucking-tastic video, but because of the way the algorithm works, because it took me a little bit longer to make the video than I wanted it to, I was not able to strike while the iron's hot. And so that video is going to die in obscurity. And that makes me sad. Tear.
I understand the sadness.
Yeah.
And so that dissuades people like me who really want to do more produced content from ever even touching Premiere again in that sort of way. I can't tell you the last time I actually edited in Premiere that wasn't that video that I put out back in fucking December. All my editing is done in XSplit because it's got a built-in video editor for my VODs.
Oh, really now?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great. I love that part of XSplit. Oh my God.
I moved away from XSplit a while ago, but
I like having the paid support.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the only main reason that I still keep XSplit. I love the paid support, but that's a whole nother conversation about how to actually do YouTube.
Yeah, but it comes back to like those videos that are like highly produced animations, you know, that take 2 weeks or a month or whatever to make, and you upload it. So a 2-minute or 3-minute long video, you're gonna have to get so many views to hit like that 4,000 hours. Like if you put out say one video a month as an animator and you're working on it like, you know, all the time.
One Game Grumps animated is at most a minute and a half.
Yeah, so like
That's
say it's a minute long video, minute long animation that you put out every 12 months, that would have to be you have like a minute, 4,000 hours that people have to watch that in a year. Like,
where's my phone?
I don't want to.
I don't want to. Nobody could possibly do that math. Don't even try. It's not a real number, Tim.
But what I'm saying, yeah, you guys can understand what I'm saying. Is like there's gonna have to either be a shit ton of people that watch it. Also, they have to watch the whole thing. That's the thing. Is people I love that argument where people were like, if you put out a 15-minute video, you know, twice a week, and 1,000 people watch it, you know, this is twice a week every month for like a whole year, and 1,000 people watch it, then you've got your views. But I'm like, okay, you obviously don't understand how people watch videos on YouTube because no one presses play and then watches the whole thing and then steps away. People click through it. People watch, you know, just the beginning. People click to like the end and watch just the end.
Yeah, or like, don't watch the end like title slate or whatever. You know, like there's a lot of things that it's pennies and pennies add up, and I'll ad block as well.
Yeah, like
forgot that exists.
Unfortunately, until YouTube can stop ad block from being used, there's still no guarantee that even if you play by the rules, you're gonna actually get all full ad revenue. I did the math, by the way. 240,000 minutes is your requirement. So if you make a 1.5-minute video, figure out how long it's going to take to reach 240,000 minutes. It's a lot of
Yeah.
views. It's a lot of views on a video that isn't going to have custom thumbnails if you're a brand new channel, that isn't going to be put into the algorithm if you're monetized, that you might be able to put on some niche subreddit forum if you're doing something like that. But if you're doing an original animation that's 2 minutes long and it took you probably the better part of half a month to make, because that's how long animation takes, especially if you're hand drawing it.
And you're by yourself.
And you're by yourself.
Like that.
And you're a smaller channel. Then I'm sorry. I feel very sorry for you. This needs to change so that channels like that don't get squandered, because there's going to be a lot of talent that goes unheard. Justin fucking shitty Bieber started out on fucking YouTube.
He did.
So,
singing on the street as a little long-haired kid.
Exactly. So I mean, don't tell me that this platform doesn't have power and shouldn't be taken seriously as a business opportunity. Because it is. It's launched way too many fucking careers to be not seen as something that can be stable and should be stable.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like we might see a couple of competitors to YouTube. Do you guys have any feelings on that?
I feel like we will. I just don't know when it's going to happen. And who knows if it'll take off. Like, I know there'll be a big group of people that are like, okay, we'll move over. Like, we'll basically unionize it and just everybody moves. But who's going to add that to their life? Like, I don't have a Vimeo app. I have a YouTube app, you know? Like,
I know that
Vimeo
Twitch
isn't on my PlayStation.
Twitch now just added in the Premiere system where you can actually watch a video go live with your subscribers in chat. And it also has rerun systems to be able to replay VODs of stuff. It also allows you to upload videos and let people search those like a channel.
Yeah, they've been moving towards it. And Amazon owns Twitch now. They have for the past couple years. And I've seen them slowly kind of moving. Like, for a long while they were pushing, like, you can upload videos to Twitch, but people are like, why? Like, the ad money and stuff.
This is for.
The ad money, and the ad money I don't think the ad money was nearly, as good, like, CPM as you would get at YouTube and stuff. So it was like not people really meaning to do that.
And who's going to really donate, sub, or subscribe, or follow a streamer that's not actually live right now?
Where now with this new Premieres thing, it feels like they're kind of trying to move into that space a little bit. If Amazon, I feel like if the Twitch platform was more like their video player and their video, like, because I don't know if you've ever tried to go back and watch previous broadcasts and stuff on Twitch. It's clunky versus like going to YouTube, and it's pretty easy and straightforward and easy to do. On Twitch, it's pretty clunky, and it's been that way. I feel like if they were more polished, it would definitely be more of a possible contender, at least on the YouTube game Let's Play side. I don't think they'd be able to dump everything from YouTube or every type of content from YouTube to Twitch or like a platform like that.
No, there are definitely some that will work better than others.
So like your other big competitor against YouTube is Facebook video, but Facebook
so strange to hear come out of someone's mouth.
Facebook video is such a mess. Like, it's just a mess. Like, everyone's their view algorithms really messed up because I think a video only has to play for 3 seconds in your timeline to count as a view. Where on YouTube it's 30. You have to watch a video for 30 seconds for it to count as a view. But on Facebook, it's 3 seconds, and videos auto play as soon as you scroll over that in your timeline. So they get fake views. Facebook's in like this weird. It's almost like early YouTube, where it's like they haven't been sued enough yet.
It feels like it's just complete. It's early YouTube, completely unregulated, and grew up into this. What's going on?
It's the Wild West, and I could see Facebook move into that space because they have the money and stuff. Right. They just need to get all their ducks in a row and kind of start making it more legit. Because right now it's literally just like the redheaded stepchild kind of like. It exists, but no one uses it on purpose except for like our parents or stuff like that, because that's all they know is Facebook and YouTube maybe.
And not to say the videos are unproduced, like they're very good. I've seen a lot of really good quality videos. I don't even want to. Like, Facebook opened on my phone, I'm just like, get this out of here. But like, the thing with that is too, when have I seen a video on Facebook said, wow, this is a really nice video, and looked at the page that posted it, and it's a person or some kind of brand. Right. It's always like things girls say, or like
some
generator
propaganda page or bot page.
buttfart.net. I don't want this. Get
Yeah,
this out of here.
They have their own nightmare with people stealing, from YouTube and reposting and stuff, and they make money. And YouTube, or not YouTube, Facebook doesn't even try really to like enforce copyright or anything on there. Where the only reason YouTube does is because Viacom sued the shit out of them like 10 years ago because people were posting Comedy Central shows like South Park and stuff.
Which is why, like, Viacom content is one of the few things that you will not find on YouTube. Like, I have tried.
Yeah, Viacom sued the shit out of them, and basically, because people are uploading, full episodes of South Park on there, and they're like, you're not doing anything about that. And YouTube tried to pull up. Well, we're not the ones uploading. They basically click and check that the terms of service that says that, I own the copyright to this content and stuff. So YouTube was trying to like get out of it that way, but a court basically said like, no,
you
it's
are
up
the
to
middleman. You have to do this.
You have to come up with the system, and that's when they started to implement like the bot, like the algorithms and the bots that scan everything and flag everything. That's where that came about.
Oh my god!
All the content ID system stuff birthed from that. So right now Facebook doesn't have that system at all. Facebook's just like, yeah, we can do whatever we want because no one has sued us yet. So until they start to get sued by big companies, Facebook's kind of the Wild West right now of video. I don't think you get paid as well on, ads and stuff. And also, YouTube is super simple to use. Like, you can just go on there and be like, I search for this, and you can usually find it. Facebook video, I don't know even how the hell you would search for a video on there unless someone links it to you, right?
Unless you knew the group that you were trying to get to go to there to find the video. Like,
That's the thing is right now, I feel like there's a couple of things, and like then there's Vimeo out there. Vimeo's been there for a long time, and they have really high quality stuff, but just no one uses it for some reason. I think it's because they're restrictive
Vimeo,
on what you can.
It seems like the YouTubers' YouTube, or like the creators' YouTube. Usually, what I see on there are a lot of demo reels from other people in the industry, people who render out a lot of shit. That's usually where I see Vimeo.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah,
usually beautiful stuff.
Or re-uploads of Pixar shorts or stuff like that. That's usually what I see on Vimeo.
So there are competitors out there, potential competitors, but they're all just kind of like circling around the edge, and no one has really tried to dive in and take on YouTube, which is kind of unfortunate because I feel like if YouTube had proper competition, it would force them to treat their users like, because they know everyone wants to be on YouTube and basically needs YouTube if they want to create content, unless they want to stream on Twitch or something like that. If they want to do like upload actual videos, YouTube's where you need to be. There's no competition really. There's no desire for them to like try,
no.
Like if you have if you have a telecom, like say you have Time Warner or something in your town, and it's the only internet telecom, your internet's probably shitty because there's no competition there. Whereas if you're in like a town like Austin, or if you're in like a big city like LA or something like that, and then you have options, then your internet probably has a pretty good speed because they all have to actually compete.
Yeah.
Whereas you go to like a small town, there's no competition. There's just they have a monopoly. There's no reason to try.
No. Well, it's a very harrowing situation, and we're all having to deal with the headache as they come. I personally am going to take my nice strength Excedrin, and I will see you guys next time. Oh my god. So before we get out of here, let's go ahead and do our little pluggy plugs, because we're all going to have to work harder to make YouTube happen. Hooray! So, Dylon, where can people find you, sir?
Basically everything.com/Dylon show, just like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. I think I have that. I don't remember. Just like Patreon. Hey, basically what I'm doing, very video game centric stuff, content and all that. But it's kind of just I'm going with the flow now. Yeah, crochet. You'll see some of that. I'm just kind of going with the flow and seeing what
actually
I
get into
have the most
cross-stitching
fun
or
with.
something. Please,
I
begging
have
you.
yarn. I've tried it. It's just, I can't do it. My hands don't work.
Actually has it.
Well, tell her to send me a link or something. But yeah, working on music, video game stuff, and all that. So you can find me on my various social medias.
Fantastic. And you, Spool?
Yeah, my main point is, Twitch is Spooleo, so just my first initial SPOOLEO, because someone has Spool. They've had it since the beginning, and they follow like 2 people, and like that's it.
Of
like
course they do. No, like the name you want is never active. Like it's never fucking active.
See, that's their threshold. Their threshold is follow 2 people. That's it.
So at Twitch is Spooleo, and then Twitter is my other big one, which is just SeanPoole, SeanPoole, are my main ones. And then YouTube is Spool, just plain Spool, I think.
You were able to get that one there.
Or Spoolio? Oh shit, I can't remember.
The link will be
those two.
correct.
You'll
It's
find
okay. Yeah. Links are down in the description below. And of course, their Twitter handles have been underneath them this whole time. And you've been watching this on youtube.com/TimLeftwich. Or I might actually do a premiere on twitch.tv/TimLeftwich for this video because interviews like this are exactly the kind of thing that are really great for discussion while we're watching. So a Twitch premiere for something like this is pretty decent. Speaking of videos that might not be good for that. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. This has been an emergency session of the Gathering of the Minds, and I hope you learned a little bit something as well as we did. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.